stand and recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Clay Weber, you have something to talk to us about.
Yes. So my name is Clay Weber. I'm a Life Scout from Troop 138. I'm entering my junior year in high school, and I started my scouting career as a Tiger Scout in first grade. I'm hoping to do my Eagle project at the Freezy's Pond Dam in Deerfield. The purpose of the project would be to make the area surrounding the dam into a more family-friendly area, and to make fishing on the dam safer and more enjoyable for the town's fishermen. So my project, I'm hoping to build a freestanding staircase from the ground up to the dam that it'll have no effect on the structural integrity of the dam, but it'll give fishermen a way to get onto the dam without having to climb up. I want to paint a line on the edge of the dam, warning people not to go past a certain point for their own safety, because there's no caution line or anything. And it's very easy to get close to the edge while fishing, as I've learned. I want to build a picnic table for the grassy area behind the dam to make it an ideal spot for fishing and picnicking in Deerfield. And I want to put in a gravel walkway leading to the dam to prevent ticks and foot injuries caused by rocks and root, and improve the overall look of one of Deerfield's most well-used fishing spots. I've included a portfolio of photos and a description of what I'm planning to do with each area. In the first picture, that is where I'm hoping to start the walkway, and that I believe that is an ideal area for the picnic table and the picnic area. In the second photo, I'm just demonstrating there isn't a safe or easy way to make it onto the dam, only climbing up the rocks. So I'm hoping that by putting a set of steps there, it'll just make fishing a lot easier and a lot safer for our town's fishermen. In the third photo, as I said, there's no warning sign on the edge of the dam, so it can be very easy to get a little too close there, a little too close for comfort. So I'm hoping that that'll just improve the overall safety of the dam. In the fourth photo, that is where I'm actually hoping to build the freestanding steps. Like I said, they won't be attached to the dam in any way, so it'll have no effect on the structural integrity of the dam. In the fifth photo, that's just demonstrating where I'd like the path to be, because as I've learned over the years, it's very easy to get ticks there and to stub your toes on the rocks and roots, so I'm hoping to end that by putting in a path. In the sixth photo, that's the Freezy's Pond Dam, at which I hope to do my Eagle project. The seventh photo is a little drawing, a layout of what I want to do, including the picnic table, the steps, the gravel pathway, and the safety line. I've been fishing at the dam for as long as I can remember, and I've spent countless hours fishing for both pickerel and largemouth bass there. As a result, I've also had countless scraped knees from pulling myself up to the dam, hurt feet from the rocks and roots, as well as ticks, and near falls off the dam. So by doing this project, I'm hoping to make the dam a family-friendly area for fishing and fun, and make the experience of Deerfield's fishermen overall better. By coming here, I hope to seek your approval for this project before I go to the Eagle Board on the 19th.
Yeah, the only question that I would have at all is that the Holy R Dam.
That's what I was.
I can't remember whether we ceded that to the state or not. And you may have done the research with regard to that, or somebody else on the board may recall, but I think I would wholeheartily agree as a selectman, but I would hate to give you permission and have DES come down and tell you to get off the dam.
Okay.
I'm wondering where you want photo one, if that is actually our property again. So
I believe it is our dam because we do all the maintenance on it.
Yeah.
And we also control the level of the boards in the outflow, but I'm not 100% sure. So I think I would certainly be comfortable giving you permission as a selectman, but you may want to do a little more research, just as to.
All right, so why don't we just first, Clay, let us check and make sure that it's a property that we can give you permission. I'm
Absolutely.
pretty sure everyone here is in agreement that, should it be, by all means, we'd love to give you permission to go ahead.
You said the 19th is the date that you need to know, though, by?
Yeah, the 19th is the Eagle Board.
Okay, so when's our next meeting? We're skipping our next
24th.
one.
I would- The 24th. So I think we could
Give him tentative.
tentative permission, providing we have the ability to do so.
Yeah.
Is that something that?
Yeah.
So, I'd like you to contact Mr. Harrington. Mr. Harrington's going to look into the specifics of the property. If we have jurisdiction to do so, the board will approve your proposal, and thank you very much for it.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Okay, we'll let you know, speak to Mr. Harrington.
Absolutely.
Thank you, sir. Excellent. Mr. Pelletier. Hello, Richard, how are you doing?
All right.
I believe you have a proposed fee schedule in front of you. The fees in town have not been, these fees were set in '96 and have not changed since. The only, I think documentation shows there was a change in '06, but that change in '06 was $50 added for septic systems. Other than that, there's been no change. Builders consistently indicate that this is the cheapest town they work in. Some of the builders, there's actually a couple of towns right now that have indicated to me that they're wishing their selectmen would charge more for fees and hire more inspectors because they have to wait too long for inspection. So, I mean, in reality, our fees are low. As you can see, there is quite a wide spread. Bonstead gets $800 for all building permits, period, if the building permit's under 1,500 square feet. If it's over 1,500 square feet, it's $1,200. Allenstown gets $5 per thousand of value of the dwelling. Concord, $7.60. Chichester, $3.65 per thousand. Candia basically copied our building permits. I remember when he came on board a few years ago, he asked me for a copy of mine, and it looks like he added a penny to it, and he's still there. Commercial fees, I have included those because we do have them in our fee schedule, even though I think I have none this year. I had one last year. They would be, obviously, I think, of minimal impact. Everything else is kind of the same. We still have auxiliary structures, barns, sheds, garages, and so forth, which are at a reduced fee over the general dwelling and usable property. Electrical and plumbing, I'm proposing to up from 25 to 50. And that's pretty much it. I mean, looking at our fees and looking at people, what builders are paying, and I've done a couple of jobs recently and seeing what I had to pay, I think it's due. We're
Looks good.
talking, what, 96, 2006, I know we're talking with no increase.
Any comments? Everybody happy with that?
Yep.
Oh, looks agreeable.
Can I get a motion to approve the updated building department
So
permit
moved.
and fee structure?
Second?
Moved and seconded. Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much, Rick.
Thanks, Rick.
Thank you.
Now,
What we've all been waiting for.
so, Ms. Kelly Roberts, would you come up? We would like to give notice to the idea that Kelly has been the assistant town clerk for 10 years. And we want to note with great appreciation, your service, and there's a little something there for you. Thank you very much, Kelly.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kelly.
So, Mr. Duffy and Ms. Schultz from the Pleasant Lake Preservation Association are next.
Hi, good evening. My name's Ann Scholes. I live in Northwood on Gulf Road, but we've been here before to discuss the Gulf Road project, which I'm sure you're all aware of. So one of the things we needed to come back to in front of you before is that there is a cemetery located at the top of that embankment, and the road work is within 25-foot boundary of that cemetery. So there is an RSA that protects that boundary area, and we need to have municipal approval to do any type of excavation in that. And what, it's not to scale, but I've highlighted where the cemetery is and that boundary offset. So it's just about a corner of that 25-foot offset that we are going to be removing existing pavement and raising the grade and everything in that area.
This is Ambrose driveway right here.
Right there, and it's up on the hill.
So
It's a
what would,
steep-
you're not gonna get into it,
No.
you're just gonna be within the
we're just looking
25.
at-
I think we've actually done excavation work well within 20 previously, but
Probably.
How's the slope there, John? It's not gonna be an issue?
it's just-
We are, the vertical profile in that area has, we're not excavating.
Yeah.
We're raising the grade of the road about 1.5 feet in that area, so
Good.
there's no cut into that slope proposed.
I'm sure if you need to, you could put rocks there.
Mhm.
So the board is in agreement to give permission?
Do you need a formal motion for that?
I think so.
Yeah, I would make a motion that we grant, not sure which entity, Fish and Game, the Pleasant Lake Association, and all parties involved, permission to move forward with the project, despite the fact that it's within 25 feet of an existing cemetery.
Second.
Could you put on there that it will not affect the cemetery itself?
Acknowledging that it will not affect the cemetery
Cover
itself.
us. You second it?
Second.
Discussion?
I think it's great.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Can I bring up another subject about Pleasant Lake?
Sure.
Parking at the dam, parking at the,
It's interesting you brought that. It's perfect. You just fed into my next thing I wanted to talk to you
Good.
about. So the road's going to be beautiful once it's constructed, and we were thinking it'd be really nice to have our signage improved out there.
Some of it's being improved as we speak. I saw the Boy Scouts about an hour ago.
Yes, they're down there working on their kiosk, so that's a big improvement too. But one of the things that we discussed with the Planning Commission last week when we were here to get permission to cut some of the trees down was that this is a very highly used area for pedestrians, cyclists, cars, boats and trailers and everything, and it'd be nice to get some signage that would say share the road, you know, with a little symbol of the cyclist and the walker and everything posted along that area, as well as new no parking signs that are faded and hidden on the trunk of a tree or anything like that. I don't know if I'll have budget for new signs, and just wanted to propose.
What about by the retaining wall itself?
In that
Between the ramp
area.
and the dam?
There's one sign there, there needs to be another.
How about-
It's down close to the dam.
How about on the other side, John?
There's nothing there.
We
would-
need them over there also.
on the dam side.
On the,
Offside
on
of
that
the lake.
wall, on the boat ramp side. The dam side has a no parking sign, but that's probably 30 feet away from the dam, for the boat ramp.
I think we're going to be
Yes.
able to get that type of sign from the state at much more amenable rates than
I'm good with
other
that.
entities, so yeah, I think we could probably handle that. And I chuckled while you were talking, so I was telling Mr. Pittman this evening, I was down there about 45 minutes before the meeting and got passed by a guy on a motorcycle riding a wheelie off of Gulf Road up the first incline as you go into Northwood, who went down to the dirt section and came back and met me riding a wheelie and I was thinking about sharing the road with cyclists as I avoided him and the girls walking on the other side of the road, but
Right?
I don't know if signage would correct that, but
Yes, Mr. Chairman, and when this came up at the planning board meeting, and I brought it up, in fact, that when you look at the number of people from Deerfield, the number of homes that are served by Gulf Road, it pales in comparison to the number of homes in Northwood that use that road. I think probably fewer than 10 properties in Deerfield actually use it, where we're 100, 150 easily in Northwood. And my thought was that maybe they have the board authorize Mr. Harrington to send a letter to the Northwood Board of Selectmen saying the work is being done to upgrade Gulf Road, in which will help the safety for all their residents who currently use that road, and ask if they'd be willing to provide some donation to that end, to have that work done.
as Mr. McGarry may well remember, this has been a topic of conversation previously. I don't recall 10 or 15 years ago that it went that smoothly, but
Yeah, can't hurt.
agreed to bring it back up.
I don't believe it would hurt at all to have John send them a letter and saying we're politely asking you want to help. I think that's a good idea.
Good.
As for your signs, I think we can get them probably at a better rate.
Do you need anything from photos or anything showing where they should be?
Yeah, I think we could
That
definitely
probably
use some
would be
input
good
in
i-
conjunction
good
with the road
idea.
agent.
And while we're talking, we have the police chief here. So Chief, do we have enough no parking signs around the dam and launch area to satisfy you?
Well, we put up some new ones. I think one of them's been taken down since then by
Hoodlums.
some unknown party. I agree that the ones that, as you're driving and you pull on the Gulf Road, are seriously faded and bent and hard to see and probably a little bit buried behind bushes and whatnot, you know, and to that end also, I you know, instructed the officers to patrol it a little bit better. We've been handing out parking tickets, which is making us very popular. And then the other part is that, you know, the fishing game guys down there doing the actual boat, you know, trailer parking lot. There's a lot of confusion down there with this whole parking thing.
Mm-hmm.
Who owns what and who can be where, and I think, you know, depending on which officer is down there from Fish and Game, they each have their own different story for people, so it's, you know, it's a little inadequate for the amount of people down there, but, it is what it is. So, you know, we keep an eye on it, and, you know, it's, the problem with, you know, this year is people taking signs down as we put them up now.
Lovely. So, do we need any extra signs, do you think?
Yes.
I don't think so, but again, I'm not 100% sure what the exact area they're referring to.
Okay.
I know we put them up on, as you're driving down on the left-hand side by the dam, there's a little turnout there that 3 or 4 cars are parked in. There's another one directly across from that.
Yes.
We also put a sign in there, I believe that one's now missing, but I think there's only room for like 1 car in there.
While I'm thinking, would it help if we got some large boulders and just placed them there?
Yeah, that'd probably be a little tougher to move. Yeah.
What does the board think about that?
The only thing I would check, I'm trying to recall, I don't believe there's a fire hydrant there, but I
No. It's not.
just want to
But
make
they
sure that that
could,
doesn't impact where a
they
fire
could get
hydrant might
into
fill up.
that cistern area that's sort of like the overflow if they
Right.
needed to draw off and not block
'Cause-
that.
I'd been down there a couple of times where people were just pulling in right by the dam and, well, there's no sign, and if we keep stealing the signs, why don't we see if we get the highway agent to find some large boulders and put them in the 2 areas that are the biggest problems?
Yeah, that would eliminate the standing puddle
Mm-hmm.
right there too, and to some extent.
Would that,
The project ends just beyond the spillway for the dam, so we'll be putting in, you know, a crowned roadway through there. And then we do plan to treat that area with some type of a stone, a larger stone. I'm concerned kids are gonna start pitching stones into the lake, is my worry in there, but hopefully it'll eliminate that puddle. But we had talked about maybe trying to put some big boulders down there to The only, people pull in and drop their kayaks off, that's the only thing, it's like,
Well,
It's gonna end.
that's gonna have, I believe that junction of the road should have absolutely no cars in it because of the amount of pedestrian and then the car traffic.
I would agree, yeah.
The
Yes.
other thing to add to that, that complicates it, that comes up all the time with the Lake Association, is the swimming there.
Yeah.
So
That's
people, so
next.
there's little kids in the water, and the cars across the street, and they're running out on Gulf Road, and, it's like, it's a fishing game, whose responsibility is that?
So I'm correct, there is no swimming by the dam
Right.
if you're looking at the launch on the left, there is no swimming there.
Not supposed to be.
Not supposed to be.
Supposed to be.
That's next, but I think that'll get cut back when the moorings leave after October.
So would you talk to the road
Swimming
agent?
out,
Mhm.
a lot of them.
Yeah.
See if you can find some boulders to put in on the right side in the area of the dam where cars park, and on the left side, there's a clearing also. Anything you can find that would restrict cars pulling into there.
Nothing large enough to break the retaining wall and
Yeah.
get us in hot water with DES, though.
So one other sign I wanted to bring up, as you're going into Northwood and still on Deerfield property, is that the road narrows,
Yes.
and it's always like a hesitation. Do I wait? Do I not wait? Do I go? Do I? So we were thinking it'd be nice to put up a sign that would say yield to oncoming traffic.
From the Deerfield side going to the Northwood side?
Because that, before you start getting through the narrows, there's enough room for, you can pull off and wait till all the cars come through in the narrows and stuff.
What do you
But
think,
there's
Chief?
no indication of who has the right of way through there.
Chief, what would you think about that?
I'd do it for us.
I'm not familiar with where she's talking about. I mean, I guess, I don't see where there would be any harm with that. I mean,
At least warning people that the road narrows.
exactly. I don't see where there would be any harm with doing that.
Board?
Yeah,
Good.
no, I'm in agreement.
Anything to help down there.
There's
What do you
actually a
think?
Flower garden and some landscape.
Gary, is that a good idea?
Well, that's what I came to speak of.
He lives right there.
Okay.
Gary Anderson.
I have property right there. I've been there since the Eisenhower administration. Road narrows basically means speed up, get to
Yeah.
the choke point. And a directive such as yield here or yield for oncoming traffic would organize it. Granted, there will be many that don't pay attention, but at least it will have the.
We tried.
I'd also like to propose to Northwood to do the same thing on the far end of Gulf Road, so both, but it might, you had a suggestion, Ann, about a Northwood one? that was different?
Northwood might just be one lane ahead versus narrows, just,
You guys could work that out.
Just to organize the chaos.
All right, so you can pass it on to the Northwood Board when you talk to them that we're gonna put up a yield to oncoming traffic sign at the, just before the point where it narrows and see what they can do.
okay.
Anything else we can help you with?
If I sit here long enough,
Hey,
maybe.
do you have any ideas? You're doing great so far.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you very much
Thank you.
for the work that you do. Yes, sir.
Do you have an idea of, if we do send a letter to Northwood, what amount of money that might be helpful?
I don't know what signs cost. I have a picture of the ones that I was thinking about, but I don't know what the prices of them are. Whoever orders signs, might have
Mark
a
We'll look at it.
catalog of them or something,
Mark can figure it out,
yeah.
and we'll include that in the letter that. All right, thank you.
Welcome.
All right, now it seems I'm gonna open the bids for the town hall roof. And the bid is such, the town of Deerfield is seeking sealed bids for roof replacement for the Deerfield Town Hall. Roofing work shall include stripping all shingles from the entire structure, disposal to be included. Apply new Cambridge Limited lifetime roof shingle or equivalent, including new white 8-inch steel drip edge. 1 wood starter course of shingles along entire length of both eave walls. 12 feet of ice and water shield starting at the eaves, 4 courses. Synthetic moisture barrier above ice and water shield to ridge. New pipe boot, 6 nails per shingle. High wind nailing, flash and waterproof existing roof hatch. Please mark bid envelope clearly with 2017 Town Buildings, Town Hall Roof, 03.1. All bids must be received at the Board of Selectmen's office by no later than Wednesday, July 5th, 2017 by 2 p.m. Mail all sealed bids to Board of Selectmen, 8 Raymond Road, P.O. Box 159, Deerfield, New Hampshire, 03037. The town of Deerfield reserves the right to reject any and all bids. I have a bid here from Valley Air Construction in town. $27,620. Avatar Construction from Salem, New Hampshire. $22,303 is the total estimated job cost. Don't like that. This is from iRoof in Hudson, New Hampshire. $17,999. Is from Indoor Air Technologies of Victor, New York.
This one says that he figures it's 2 layers up there.
$19,400 with a specific of as-needed plywood sheathing replacement, $125 a sheet. What's the board's pleasure?
I'd like to look at them with Mark, see what the different ones bid, because we gave him the option to not use Ike and shingles.
Mm-hmm.
So just to make sure we got the right one.
So you would have a recommendation for next meeting?
Yes.
Is that okay with the board?
Yep.
Thank you. All right, moving on to review of outstanding minutes. We have the 19th of June.
So moved.
Second?
Moved and seconded. Any discussion?
I had just one minor one, first page. In the section dealing with the Conservation Commission, and it's just a matter of clarification, the paragraph reads, "The Town of Deerfield Board of Selectmen has been apprised of the Marston Farm project and supports," instead of their efforts, to insert the Conservation Commission's efforts and to secure funding. That's the only correction or change I had.
Excellent. Anyone else? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Very well. I have an accounts payable manifest in the amount of $48,872.82.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I have three part-time officer appointment requests from the chief. One would be Joseph Lister of Raymond, Roger St. Ange of Goffstown, and Glenda Smith of Epsom.
Motion to approve all three.
Second?
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? They are all current part-time officers for the town.
I think where that is, in West Bath.
All right, I have here the outside detail contract for the fair, September 27th through October 1st, 2017. And the charge per officer will be $35 an hour, plus $8.95, $5.73, and $3.22 per hour for administrative costs payable to the town of Deerfield.
What's that come to?
Sure, John, sure.
Roughly.
That's 9 for the 44, go over to 51. I think it's in the realm of $55 an hour.
That's what the real cost is there.
Yeah.
You said we calculated it.
Close enough.
Good enough? All right. I'd like a motion to approve the board signing the contract.
So moved?
Second.
Yes, sir.
Do we know if that's the same as last year?
I do not know.
Okay. I'm gonna abstain anyway, so.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And one abstention.
Sign it, right?
Yeah, you're part of the board. The board is signing it. And
You don't have to.
you don't have to, though.
No, I wanna have them. We need them.
Again, from the police department, a criminal prosecution contract with Karen Springer. And this would be from May 1st, 2017 through April 30th, 2018. And this annual salary is $15,000.
I would make a motion that we sign
Can you make the motion that the chairman sign the contract?
I would make a motion that the chairman sign the agreement.
Second.
Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I have a request here for a parade for the Parks and Rec.
Old Home Day.
I'm trying to find a date. Old Home Day,
19th.
Third Saturday in August.
third Saturday in August. Yeah, fire trucks, I guess, so that's again, over 107. So if the board is willing, could I get a motion for the chairman to sign the parade permit?
So
So moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
I think it locks us more firmly on board with our insurance company if we apply for a permit and we've approved it.
Application for reimbursement to towns and cities in which federal and state forest land is situated. We do this every year. 1,800 plus acres in Bear Brook, 506 acres in Pawtuckaway, and 88 acres in Woodman State Forest. If we could get a motion for the board to sign this, we can get reimbursed.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, sir. I have a timber tax levy in the amount of $986.63 on Helen Tomlinson, 41 Harvey Road.
Make a motion that we levy said tax.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Two places, sir. I have three current use, land use, change tax collectors warrants. I'll read them all off. One is for Tucker Real Estate in the amount of $6,500, map 41927-36. Another one is for $6,500 for Tucker Real Estate, map 41927-35. And another one is for Tucker Real Estate in the amount of $6,500, map 27-1, map 41927-1.
Motion to collect all three.
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Request from the town clerk tax collector is that we issue tax refunds for overpayments on the first half of the 2017 taxes in the amount of $9,586, and that would break down to being $326 to John Gidritis, 41 Nottingham Road, $97 to Guy Bai of Nottingham Road, $2,824 to John Gosling of 250 South Road, Charles Monteverde, $5,694 of Willow Lane, and Maria Reardon, 20 Danielle Way, $645.
Were they a mistake or an overcharge?
Overpayments.
Overpayment?
The mortgage company paid it after the homeowner paid it.
I'm not sure about the 5,000.
Mortgage payment after the homeowner paid it. Mortgage company paid it after the title company paid it. And this $5,000 one, a homeowner paid it, and then the Central Loan Administration paid it.
Motion to return the
Costs are
funds
so
is
high.
is listed.
Second?
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hate giving it back. Intent to cut wood or timber, Al Yeager, Perry Road. Attempt to cut, notice of intent to cut wood or timber, Robert Voigt, Griffin Road. Yeah. Trying to figure this one out. All right. Right. So we have a timber tax levy in the amount of $7,957.30 for Global Superiors, which is Mr. Voigt, as mentioned previously. Could I get a motion to collect the tax?
So moved?
Second.
All those in favor?
So they've already done it, and this is another one we just signed?
No, I believe this is the same one. I think this is a bond, and it's in the amount of $7,957, which we collect as a tax.
Yes. Thank you.
I was confused myself. Could I get a motion for the board to sign that?
So moved?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All from Parks and Rec? And VZ Park. Well, that's Parks and Rec technically. So I have a number of personnel action requests. It's that time of year. One from, and they're all from Parks and Rec or VZ Park. Catherine Blake is a park attendant at $10 an hour. Morgan Mahoney is a lifeguard at $11 an hour. Haley Stevens is a lifeguard, $11 an hour. Hunter Sinney, lifeguard, $15 an hour. Not paper here.
I remember some of these kids as being babies. That's weird.
Bradley Heckman, lifeguard, $15 an hour. John Dubiansky, an after-school and summer camp staff at Parks and Rec, $13.50 an hour. Victoria Gibson, summer camp shift leader at $12 an hour. Hannah Mason, summer camp shift leader, $11.50 an hour. Greg Berkland, staff shift leader for after-school and summer camp, $13.50 an hour. And those are the Parks and Recs. If I could get a motion for the chairman to sign this?
I would make that motion. Second that motion.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And I'm going to continue signing it, but first, I have a request from the police chief to hire a full-time police officer, Mr. Lucas Bernier, at $20 an hour, effective the 13th.
This will replace Eric Baker.
This is one that's at the academy now.
This is the one that's at the
So
academy now.
moved.
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I actually had a conversation with one of his instructors at college, and they
Mm-hmm.
spoke very highly of him.
Well, that's good.
He's at the academy now.
Just graduated from
Hoping that we're gonna pay him.
Just graduated from where?
New England College, if my memory's right. Most of it is, 2,410 acres.
Put that with the rest of the stuff. Fred, you were looking at the plans for the cistern. Did you have any buoyancy?
Yeah, I went through a quick check on the buoyancy, and I get apparently the Mitchie had,
Sent a letter?
yeah, and with a 1.33 safety factor on it. And Mark was, the location that they are proposing to put it in, we can probably take and drain the stone bedding underneath those tanks directly to daylight, so probably don't have to be overly concerned about buoyancy.
Very well. Thanks for checking that out.
I mentioned to John that we should have two test pits, one on each end of where these tanks are going to go, and they should go down 12 feet to assure that we don't have any ledge there. And the other thing too, it's an area which over the years I'm sure there's been deposits of brush and stumps and whatever else. And we're gonna make sure that the bottom of those tanks are on original ground and not fill material,
Mm-hmm.
and potential differential settling would take place under rotting wood or whatever.
Yeah, we don't want that.
No.
All right. Letter from Joe Manzi to Mr. Harrington. He'd like us to ask the board's acceptance of a $500 donation from TD Bank under their employee volunteer program. And this is for volunteer coaching from Jasmine Tordoff.
Motion to accept.
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And from MetroCast, sending us a check for $544.50 as our 2016 PEG Access Support Grant for the town of Deerfield. All donations cheerily accepted. I'd like to also note that we have received a retirement notice from Assistant Chief Gary Clark dated 6/22/17. Also note for the record that on 6/29 and 6/30, a payroll manifest grossing in the amount of $59,201.57, netting at $45,133.22 was approved by all 5 members of the Board of Selectmen. Those same 5 members of the Board of Selectmen on the same dates approved an accounts payable manifest in the amount of $53,234.06.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I don't know what the fire department is planning to do for Mr. Clark, but I believe he is at 48 and a half years of service as a fireman, and at the very least, I think the Board of Selectmen should do something to thank him.
Have a presentation. I agree.
And recognize him for his years of service.
I think there's a couple others we need to include in that.
Yes. Oh, Paul Smith did 50 years.
Yeah.
Somebody should look into it and get us.
So why don't we look into recent retirees and set up a date at one of our meetings to have a little
I just think if the
recognition.
association hasn't been meeting regularly, that sort
Yeah.
of thing, it's a shame to let these guys slip under the
Absolutely.
radar.
John will look into that. Thank you, John. All right.
Paul Smith.
Paul Smith, and
Just check with Mark, see. if we
check with
got
Mark,
time.
see if we've had any old timers.
Mm-hmm.
All right, town administrator's report when he finishes writing.
A few items. Back probably 2 or 3 meetings ago, there was a question about poll permits. That was, yes, Mark Young gets poll permits for all new polls going in on town roads. If it's a state road and you see polls going in, we do not get permits. That was a question that I had been waiting to answer. The planning board approved the impact fee proposal at the 2 meetings ago that they had given to the highway to proceed. RFP will be prepared, it is being prepared right now for the transfer station addition project. Rick Pelletier is working on that sketch and proposal, and Dick is going to take a look at it before it gets posted.
John?
Yes.
Could you just mention which roads the impact fee money was going to be used on?
I don't have that
Okay.
list with me,
Never mind.
sorry.
Several people had asked me what we were doing for road improvement over the summer, and
I can bring that next time.
We good.
great if we could get that
That'll
out
be
there.
on TV.
On June 8th, Therian Roofing completed the general repairs to the library roof. There is a status report in the folder that you can look at. The new compactor was installed at the transfer station and was operational as of Saturday. Rick Pelletier connected all the electrical parts to it. The ADA bathroom on the main floor is just about completed and will be open to the public this Wednesday. They're doing final touches on that. That will complete all of the bathroom renovations in the building.
Excellent.
Joe Stone would be happy.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, the painting at the George B. White Building began last Wednesday. The first phase, they came in 4 to midnight, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, to do all of the hallways, the ceilings, and the main hallway out front, and the foyer up front on the upper floor. And the painting also completed in the emergency management room and in the selectmen's conference room. Those have both been repainted. They're currently in the assessing room tonight. Tomorrow night, they will be doing town clerk, tax collector's office.
Who's moving all that stuff?
It's a combination of efforts.
We got help?
Yeah. Town hall is due to be painted fair weekend.
So it's not going to rain.
I'm hoping. We have a new addition to the Selectmen's Meeting Room. If you look up top here, installed is a ceiling-mounted LCD projector for anybody doing
presentations. They can sit at the public desk, and the IT department has installed a plug right in the wall that accepts multiple adapters for whatever kind of computer you're going to use.
Good.
And that projects right on the wall behind us and fills up the whole wall.
John found that in a box.
That was purchased back in 2013 under Leslie Boswick. And after I found out that it was there, I had Steve Gemelli get it installed.
Oh, wow. Very good.
Assuming we could plug phones into that too?
That, it does have wireless capability, so during budget time, I'm going to have a laptop up here, and I'll be able to project the budget behind us as we work on
I
it.
know there has been some concern about people,
Good.
I've got this on my phone, and it would be great if they could put it on the wall.
Mhm.
for all to
We
see.
would have to know ahead of time, and I would have Steve work with them. Anybody that was wanting to do a presentation here, he would need to work with them to make sure that it would be functional for the day of the presentation. But that's going to be a nice asset in the room.
Yeah.
Yes.
And last but not least, I was at the outdoor concert on Friday and happened to notice that the weather vane was missing on the gazebo. And when I brought it to people's attention, they had not noticed that it was missing. So sometime,
It's a large deer.
we don't know when it was gone or taken, the weather vane was taken. So I've made a report with the police and our insurance company, and they will be sending out an insurance investigator to take a look at it. The only pictures I could find right now are off of town reports. There doesn't seem to be a lot of fanfare when that was put up, but I have put the call out to get other real photos so that the insurance company can take a look at the weather vane. But to my knowledge, it was donated by Fred Dodge at the time.
There were pictures, John, during the 250th that Saturday at the town hall. Oh, back there, you might get some.
Fred donated the antique lamps and the
And,
weather vane.
yeah. What year did we build that, Andy?
2002, I was told.
Yeah, that would be about right, because
Okay.
Joe and Jim and Ray Heon and were pretty instrumental in.
All set?
That's it.
Question for the board. We've put out the finance director's position. And in talking with John, it seems we might be a little low on the number. Were you able to do any research?
I didn't finish it. Not enough to present.
55,000?
The
Was what
current
they-
salary of the departing finance director was 54,600.
Okay.
Yeah, how long, Penny had been here, 10 years?
8 years, 8.5.
So,
There is some concern that we may need to bump that up in order to attract a qualified candidate.
Let's see who we get,
yeah.
because we were already dished off some of that work.
Exactly. Just wanted to make sure that everybody was aware of it.
Mm-hmm.
I
Any
have
que-
already started to get candidates from
Good.
the announcement, but I just wanted to make the board cognizant of that.
Questions for the town administrator? Not hearing any, okay. Unfinished business. Going to go on to new business. Mrs. Katie? You wish to donate a piano for town hall?
The Women's Club asked about 2.5 years ago if the selectmen would accept a piano for the downstairs. You have one upstairs. And at that time, they said yes. And the Women's Club said they would pay for having two. They would apparently use it for their tea, but then it would be available to other groups downstairs. And I have a piano that a little, my grandmother's, and it's about 50 years old, but it's not the high back, it's, so high and has a seat.
Not quite as heavy.
Mahogany. Fairly good condition. My son learned to play piano on it. Since he's dead, I have no one that'll use it.
board think?
Where are you thinking of putting it, Harriet, in the town hall?
Piano should always be put on an inside wall.
Right,
And I told John about the only place I could think of would be the wall against the sheep pen.
yeah, that's what I was thinking, on that back corner.
Go out the back door.
Yeah.
If you can find another place, but.
No, it's, to get it and not have room would be horrible, so.
No, it
That's
sounds
good.
like a great donation
Good for me. Thank you very much. We'll, we would gladly accept it.
Do you need, I'm assuming you need some assistance from us maybe in getting it?
Definitely.
Road crew.
Yep.
Somehow, the women's club slipped up. They told you they would get a person to
Tune it.
pick it up.
We can have the highway crew come and pick it up if that's happy with you, and then we'll ask the women's club to get it tuned up.
Just let me know when,
Mhm.
because I'm going through a lot of doctor's appointments at this time.
We
I'll work with you on a time.
Thank you, Mrs. Cady.
Thank you.
Lease renewals for the George V. White Building. Has everybody reviewed the,
Yes.
do we want to go forward, or want to talk about it, or what?
I have a little issue having them pay property tax.
Yeah, we went through that 10 years ago, 10 or 11 years ago.
When did the
We've done
lodge,
it since, because we came up with it, if we raised it, they were gonna skedaddle.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I didn't know how the economy is affecting those two businesses compared to
It looked like
4 or 5 years ago.
one is paying and one is not, right?
Right.
That RSA changed. I sent out the information that talks about it.
Right.
Municipal buildings are exempt from property tax, but once a municipality decides to take their space and lease it out to a for-profit agency, that entity is now required to pay property taxes for the space that they are occupying.
Is it required or is it recommended?
It's required.
Required. That's why we started it in the first place.
And the reason one is and one isn't, one of the vendors has been operating without an active lease for a number of years. So that would be new to their lease, but required.
I think when we first talked about this with John at the pizza place, he was paying property tax on other locations he
Mhm.
had, and was happy to comply.
And the reason I included the current rent and the either known property tax or estimated property tax for the vendor that is not currently paying is so that you could make a decision on an adequate and fair monthly rental, knowing that they are also required to pay property tax. I believe that came into the decision for Yanni's.
Wasn't
when
that
you-
like 200 a month, John?
Pardon?
Wouldn't it be around an additional 200 a month on that one? I don't have the email in front of me. For what you proposed.
$122.65.
That's all.
I can make a suggestion. I think I'd be comfortable moving forward with the recommendation that John has put together, and we can certainly meet with the tenant or tenants to
If there's
discuss or negotiate further if that seems unreasonable to them.
I think the first step would be to have you folks review it. Once you've agreed that this is how you want to move forward, I'd present them to the tenants and then leave it up to them to approach the board if they wanted further negotiations.
Yeah, I think you need to let them know that it's required, not
Yep.
recommended.
And these leases were reviewed and prepared by our attorney, so.
And we clearly need to have everybody under a lease.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So we'll present them and see where it goes from there.
Okay.
Very well. Any other business? Yes, sir.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. The other day, I was, actually a couple of weeks ago, I was getting into my car and looked out here in the garden area that we have out by where the flagpole is, and noticed that we had poison ivy that was creeping in basically starting to take over.
Goes well in Deerfield.
So I went home and picked up some brush killer and sprayed it, and you'll probably notice that most of that poison ivy is dying off right now. But then that brought to mind another issue, and that being whether we should ask the garden club to see if they would be willing to include this garden as part of their work around town. And I did talk to Sarah Schendel, who's chair of or head of the garden club, and she said they would entertain the idea, although they may ask for something in return. And so I guess if the board is interested in having the garden club, maybe Mr. Harrington could either contact Sarah or send
Great idea.
a note to
Great
them
idea.
to see if they'd be willing to take it over. And then that raises another point too. I'd like to give a shout out to one of Chief Duquette's officers. The garden club was working at the garden at the intersection of 107 and 43 down at Lamprey River. And Officer, is it Mollet?
Alex Mollet.
Yeah.
He apparently drove by, saw the people working there on Saturday, came back here, picked up some bottles of water and brought them out and distributed to the garden club people working there. And I know that was greatly appreciated by those people, so.
He's Officer Ice Cream, too.
Yes.
I was going to note that in the past week, he visited a neighborhood get-together up off of South Road and distributed ice cream and let the kids run the siren.
Wow.
Much to the happiness there, he got a lot of good press on
Mm-hmm.
the community webpage.
Wonderful.
All right. Any business at all? We don't need a non-public. Citizens' comments? It's Katie.
Fred, what was that name? Sarah?
Schendel?
Two things. One is, every time I come down to the intersection in Old Center and you stop to look up
You mean church?
Meeting House Hill,
Yeah.
you go ahead to church, but
Okay, yeah.
there's somebody's planted cedars in there, so you
It's
can't
not
see.
good.
And I was told by Joanne Lawson, we own a little schoolhouse lot there, and that would be a part of it.
Corner of Meeting House,
In Old Center.
It's
Old Center.
Old Center and Meeting House to when you come from my way to the stop sign, it would be on your left,
okay, on that corner.
right on that corner. And that is an old schoolhouse lot. I don't know if the town has mapped out where they own, but
Well, it is a hazard.
it is a piece that we own.
Can we direct the highway agent, maybe?
Also, while he's there,
And it may be the owners
Yeah,
that
no
planted
call.
the cedars there and they want to put them somewhere else, but
Meeting House Hill Road and
Old Center.
Old Center.
Old Center Church and
Mount Delight.
Mount Delight.
That
That
four-way intersection.
Four-way.
The fire,
coming
the-
from-
Mount Delight, and I can see church.
the water hole's on your right,
Yes.
so it's right on the left
yes.
as you're continuing, okay.
Also, John, I got a call on I think her name's Glenda Sojak. up
Sorak. On the
If
corner
someone
by
could
me.
Speak to her, looking
Off of Pleasant Hill.
looking
You
south
risk your life getting out.
on 107, trying to get out of Old Center Road.
Right.
Trying to get out of Old Center.
Because now there's more of a oomph
Yeah.
from the new pavement.
That's very bad there.
Somebody could talk.
Same
This is
corner?
No, this
No,
is coming
the other
out
end.
at the end of Old
Junction of
Center
Old Center.
on 107. Where you come up to 107,
That's
left or right.
church, yeah.
No, that's Old Center.
Oh, okay.
Old Center,
Top
down
of
by
the hill.
me.
This is right by Glenda Sorak's barn where
Right.
she's her
Right.
accounting office.
So where
Oh, I know, all right, I know.
Old
where you
Center
are.
comes
Yep.
out, it's a rather high rise.
Just take a check, cutting a couple limbs.
See, if the road agent could just take a look at that and see what he can do about opening up the visual aspect of 107 so that a clearer decision could be made.
It's good in the truck, but not the car.
And then
Yeah.
my other point is, and I spoke to John about this already, the supervisors of the checklist office, the light is always on if the hall light is on. And I don't know if you can separate the light out from it, but the problem is that people turn off the light in the hall,
Turn off the light in the meeting house.
and we have no windows, so we're in the complete dark.
Could you ask Mr. Pelletier to take a look at that and see if
Yeah.
it's feasible to?
Yeah, Mrs. Katie had told me about that.
Any other citizens' comments?
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you all for coming.